So today we're headed over to Suspension Syndicate in Salt Lake, well technically South Salt Lake. If you have your suspension serviced at a bike shop in Salt Lake County or in the surrounding counties, there's a pretty good chance it was actually serviced by Suspension Syndicate. So the vast majority of shops outsource their suspension work to Syndicate. And for Downrange, anything that goes beyond a 50-hour service, so anything beyond a lower leg service or a rear shock can service, we outsource it to Suspension Syndicate. They are the pros. They know how to service virtually any shock. They're real riders. And in this case, we have a rear shock that really unique brain shock on a Specialized, and you can't even find parts for that anymore. So yeah, we sent it over to them and they do a really good job. I trust their work. I have them service my suspension when I do full rebuilds, and I trust them with my clients' parts. So let's check it out. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, what's happening?
Here to pick up some shocks, my man.
All right, got some stuff for Downrange?
Yes, sir. Oh, you actually have them out. That's perfect.
Yeah, I just saw you roll up. I was just finishing this this setup. So we got a setup for a newer enduro bike for Milo. And then we got this really cool vintage setup here for this old Brain and Manitou. That was kind of a fun project to get back together again. We had to get really creative with this one.
Yeah, man, let's talk about that. So that's why I go to you guys, because like, you guys check this out. This is like old school, Specialized brain shock. Like, tell me about that, man, because that was a pain, right?
Yeah, there's a few people here that actually used to work for Specialized had never seen this before. But like our most veteran guy here had seen one in the past, and there aren't any service manuals available for this, no parts or anything. But we took it apart and had to source a couple of seals and reverse engineer how to reassemble it, and everything was still functional. These probably sat for decades. The seals had turned to plastic and like shattered into pieces.
Really?
Yeah, and I had to take it all apart and clean every little piece and find stuff out of newer products that happened to be a good fit. But we managed to get both of them running again.
That's why you guys are awesome, man. That's why you guys are the place.
Yeah.
That shock is, it's no joke, man. That thing was in bad shape. It actually looks really great now. So
yeah, and it's functional again. And we had to get a little bit creative with the fork. It had been ridden past its kind of usable life and had been repainted, and so everything's functional again. But it's just cool to bring an old bike back to life. We do everything we can to keep stuff from going into the junkyard.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
And
old bikes have a lot of sentimental value, so sometimes it might not make financial sense to rebuild something, but if it's keeping a whole bike alive and it's something that someone had a good experience with and it's hanging in their garage and they like to ride it on the occasional Sunday, then we think that's great. So,
yeah, that's definitely the case with this. This came from like I think early 2000s Specialized. And so, you can't even find this stuff anymore. So
yeah, that sounds right. So we do everything from like the most custom stuff to a little more routine service. What we're seeing on these other pieces here, just kind of the everyday in and out. But we take pride in every piece, whether it's new or old, and if it just needs basic service or a little bit of custom tuning and a bit of extra help. And we have this relationship with shops and mechanics all over town to keep them profitable and busy and take care of these things that are very detail oriented, that we're like the specialists on. And so we have a great relationship with a bunch of folks like yourself in town here.
Pretty fair to say that you guys do suspension for most bike shops in the Valley?
We definitely do suspension for a lot of shops. There are only a couple that really are doing a lot of suspension on their own. Some are doing some lower leg service and some air can service, but most people send it here just so that, once again, they can be profitable. We can take care of the legwork of some of these things that take mechanics a lot of time, and it just doesn't make financial sense for them to invest in the tools and the parts and the mechanics. And I think that there's plenty of mechanics that are capable. It's just keeping the shops efficient.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long has Syndicate been around?
Syndicate's been around for about 8 or 9 seasons now, starting in 2018. We've grown a little bit from a really small shop to a bigger operation. That we have a good number of dedicated mechanics, and all we're doing is suspension service. We also make tools and make parts for older product. We do a lot of fine tuning. We import stuff from other countries, high-end upgrades and things like that. Yeah.
Fair to say that everyone in the shop rides?
Yeah, everyone here rides. Yeah,
what do you
ride? I like to ride enduro bikes, downhill bikes, e-bikes. motorcycles, you name it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the EXT suspension. So I have an Arma and a Via on my downhill bike, and Astoria and an Era on my enduro bike. And yeah, it's super great stuff.
Solid, man.
Yep.
What's one hot tip you could give folks?
Oh, I mean, it's the simplest thing of just like checking your air pressure. A lot of forks have a chart on the back of the leg that has the recommended rebound setting for the air pressure. And that, it's kind of hidden in plain sight. Sometimes I'll take a photo of it and enlarge it, but just getting the rebound to correspond with the air pressure can make a huge difference in the way the bike rides. And it's not super technical. It's just easy to do. You can do it just with a shock pump and probably just with a knob on the bottom of the fork.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been super kind to me, and you guys do a really great job, and I trust you with my suspension and my client suspension, man. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
You
we
guys
appreciate
rock.
it. Yeah, we appreciate the business.